Downtown Cincinnati is experiencing flooding as the Ohio River reached above 60 feet on Monday, the highest in more than 28 years. After days of heavy rain and severe thunderstorms over the Ohio, Mississippi, and Tennessee valleys, the Ohio River in Cincinnati and Louisville, Kentucky, are among the more than 140 river locations experiencing moderate to major flooding. Cincinnati received nearly 5 inches of rain from Wednesday to Sunday, according to the National Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio. Although the rain has come to an end, flooding impacts will continue this week as floodwaters flow into streams and rivers, likely causing more flooding. The last time the Ohio River in Cincinnati surpassed 60 feet was February 26, 2018. However, it's nowhere near the record high of 80 feet during the 1937 flooding. On Monday, river levels of 60.53 feet beat the 2018 level by 1/100th of an inch, 60.53 inches, the Fox Forecast Center said. The river is at 60.59 feet before it's expected to crest later on Monday. If the Ohio River reaches 60.60 feet, it will tie a 1936 record.
Wow.
At 60 feet, the NWS said significant flooding is possible in East End, California, and New Richmond, Ohio. Backwater floods could also affect Silver Grove, Kentucky, and riverfront buildings in Aurora, Indiana. According to the Ohio Department of Transportation, stretches of US 52 are flooded, causing road closures due to high water. Riverfront parks, including Smale, Yeatman's Cove, and Swayer Point, were closed over the weekend due to flooding. The Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, also installed floodgates at Riverfront Transit Center in downtown Cincinnati. According to ODOT Public Information Officer Matt Bruning, this is the first time the gates have been used since 2018. The Greater Cincinnati Waterworks Stormwater Management Utility also installed floodgates on Mering Way and Carr Street. In Louisville, the Ohio River is expected to crest at 36.2 feet on Wednesday, the highest in 7 years. There is a flood warning for the Ohio River in Cincinnati and Louisville until further notice. The Louisville Fire Department said it has begun evacuation efforts at a northeast Louisville hotel due to flooding.
225.
About 61 guests at the Candlewood Suites on Zorn Avenue were evacuated from the building Monday afternoon, according to the Louisville Metro Police Department, LMPD. Another 5 people were rescued from the Velaro gas station nearby. The hotel is on dry land, but the road surrounding it was made inaccessible from the rising Ohio River floodwaters. LMPD said their dive team, along with Louisville Fire and the Kentucky National Guard, assisted in the effort. They said the whole rescue took 2 hours and 2 to 3 boats. Everyone rescued is staying at a hotel paid for by Candlewood Suites. Flooding along the Ohio River is causing serious disruptions, forcing the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to temporarily shut down some major lock operations across Kentucky. On Saturday, the USACE announced that the South Chamber of McAlpine Locks and Dam in Louisville had been shut down, with the North Chamber also expected to close by the end of the day. The Corps also suspended operations at Markland Locks and Dam, about 75 miles upriver from Louisville, due to rising water. The USACE said several other closures are expected across the state if conditions don't improve. These locks help towboats and barges move up and down the river. When they shut down, it can create delays not just locally, but for businesses and ports throughout the region as well. Officials said the closures will remain in place until water levels go down and it's safe to reopen. In the meantime, mariners are being asked to take direction from the lock operators, or U.S. Coast Guard VTS, at McAlpine Locks and Dam. The Corps said officials are closely monitoring water levels and weather conditions and will provide further updates as the situation evolves. Meanwhile, more than 50 river locations are currently experiencing or expected to reach major flood stage over the next few days, and another 90 river locations are forecast to reach moderate flood stage. Columbus Fire Rescue completed a 12-person rescue along the White River near East Fork on Sunday, when flooding stranded a group of unhoused individuals. The White River crested at a major flood stage of 17.09 feet on Sunday, according to NOAA's National Water Prediction Service.
Ahoy!
The Kentucky River in Woodford County is forecast to reach a potential record 49.5 feet on Monday. Over the weekend, emergency management officials ordered evacuations. If you're near the river and you have any proximity to water, you need to leave, Woodford County Judge Executive James K. said on Sunday. So that means other tributary streams and creeks downstream of where all of this heavy rain has fallen is going to start to flow in. And that big flow into our major rivers is what is going to ultimately lead to more water rises. And we are expecting significant river flooding over the next several days for this upcoming week, Minar said. That means areas that might not see flooding right now will, and could definitely be in a dangerous situation with that flooding potential.
Plots are broken.
Paducah, Kentucky, along the Ohio River, and Memphis, Tennessee, along the Mississippi River, are areas of concern for flooding early this week. This flooding concern will last through most of April. According to the Forecast Center, rainfall water on the Mississippi River is forecast to reach Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in more than 2.5 weeks, and water levels could rise to the highest level in 4 years. That's the biggest threat here, with communities that live along the river expected to see that water rise, Minar said. We can expect to see some concerns for businesses and buildings just driving along the way as well. You don't ever want to drive through floodwaters, but this is going to be a really difficult task. Parts of New Richmond are underwater Monday afternoon as the Ohio River crested a little higher than anticipated. It is all hands on deck in New Richmond, with a sheriff's helicopter scanning the terrain from the air and a search and rescue team from the New Richmond Fire Department taking to water to help those stranded. The good news is we are at the crest. The bad news is the crest came up a little higher than we were hoping, said New Richmond Vice Mayor Larry Pruse. Becca Light and her husband own the Green Kayak Grill and Pub on Front Street. Their business was flooded overnight due to the rising water levels. It is 6:15. The river breached our front door at 2 this morning, she said. And it is all the way to the back entrance of the building, as far as our back storeroom. Light says she stayed on the second floor of the bar Sunday night. When it comes up almost over your muck boots, it's like, okay, we got a lot more water than what we thought, is what I'll say, Light said. The business owner did not sleep much last night. Tried to take a little power nap this morning, and I got up and came down, and it was 2 more inches. So, yeah, it's been quite the interesting climb, she told local media. Traveling through parts of town were difficult at best, and Vice Mayor Pruse says it is going to be a tough road ahead for businesses. It's going to have to be a sanitized cleanup, and there'll be inspections that have to be done for the restaurants for them to reopen, he said. Residents here say major events like this account for such a small percentage of the time living here in this river community. When I asked about getting volunteers to help the flood victims, the vice mayor says he does not see that as an issue at all.
Might be okay, but a lot of
Ramona Carr, a lifelong resident and former EMA director during the 1997 floods, has opted to stay. She is just a few blocks from the Ohio River. So, when you have all that rain and you start watching the river rise, which it does every spring, we expect it. It's a stressful time, you know, knowing what could happen, Carr said. We chose to stay put because we didn't get any water in our home in 2018. It was very close then as it is now, but we chose to stay put. Meanwhile, Shirley Penny, who evacuated her home, expressed concern about the potential damage. Right now, I know I can't get in my house. I know there's water in the house from what I've been told. They think it's more than what it was the last time it was flooded, but I don't know until I can get in there and look, Penny said. As of early Monday, Claremont County EMA Director Pam Haverkas reported no deaths or injuries in the area. Haverkas urged residents to heed road closure signs. Even as the water recedes, the road departments, the county engineer, and the Ohio Department of Transportation will be coming out and inspecting to make sure that the road hasn't been impacted and that it's safe to travel on, Haverkas said, especially our bridges. If there is a bridge impact, they have to come out and do a bridge assessment before they can reopen them. Even as the water recedes, the road departments, the county engineer, and the Ohio Department of Transportation will be coming out and inspecting to make sure that the road hasn't been impacted and that it's safe to travel on, Haverkas said, especially our bridges. If there is a bridge impact, they have to come out and do a bridge assessment before they can reopen them.